Welcome to The Game Case, a show for, well, anyone that plays World of Warcraft. The show rife with ramblings, tips, tricks, and goings-on in WoW. Here's your host, Chris Case.
Well, hello, hi, howdy, and welcome to episode 29 of The Game Case. I am Chris, also known as Cuddles, a Brewmaster monk on Airy Peak in the Convert to Raid Guild. This week, I am honored to be joined by a young lady that is not only the co-host of both The Sundering and Netfreaks, a director of the D20 Crit Network. She's also going to be making another tiny little person whilst we're talking. That's right. Tonight, I'm honored to be in the presence of podcasting greatness. I am joined by the lovely Zia. Zia, welcome to the show. You're muted. I can't hear a thing you're saying.
That's because I was muted. Here you are saying that podcasting greatness. See, I was just messing with you. That's okay. I didn't say anything that important.
Oh, that was perfect.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it very, very much. And hello, chat room. I think there's some people floating around in there. Oh, thank you, Lori. I appreciate that. So,
Aw.
thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
I'm like, yeah. You're like, I don't hear this chick.
I'm hitting all the buttons. I'm like, what did I do? I muted her. Oh no.
Abort.
Oh. Well, this week, we're going to run down what we've been up to in WoW, touch on a bit of Blizzard news, and talk about the best BlizzCon pre-party out there, the con before the storm. And now for news from all things Blizzard. So this week in Blizzard news has been a bit of a quiet one. However, we did see some really big news dropping. First of all, we got the big announcement of the closing ceremony. Blizz let us in on the big secret. This year we have the amazing, the incredible Linkin Park.
Yes.
See how pumped and or utterly disgusted are you by this announcement?
You know what? I like Linkin Park. I mean,
Okay.
I actually am more pleased with them, having Linkin Park this year than I was with Blink 182 last year. I just like Linkin Park. And that's okay. Some people do not feel the same way. But it's one of those things where I actually probably would have gone to a little bit of the concert kind of thing. Like, I would have stuck around and heard a couple of songs by them if I was going. So,
Oh, nice.
I think it's cool. Others might not agree.
See, the question is, in the end, does it even matter? I had to.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm trying to, I'm going through the only song I can think of right now is Crawling in My Skin, and I'm like, how do I relate that song right now? It doesn't work.
Oh, no. This is how. Is this announcement really just crawling in your skin? Just like that. It fits. You
Yeah,
can do it.
thank you.
Make it happen.
Thank you.
That is also thoroughly exhausted all of my knowledge of Linkin Park lyrics. That is it.
Yeah, no, I like them alright, so.
I will, to be perfectly frank and honest, I will be over at the Hilton Bar during the closing concert. I don't hate Linkin Park. It's just, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be one to give out some hugs and have a few last drinks.
The Hilton Bar, I mean, it's gotten to this point where it's just, I tell people whenever they talk about going to BlizzCon, they're like, I can't wait for the con, I can't wait. I'm like, oh, trust me, it's become almost more about, the parties and the socialization than it is, I mean, it sounds terrible, but I mean, the Blizzard stuff's really sweet, but you get to see all these people, and it's, I don't know, I think that's what makes it fun.
It's funny, I'm now 13 sleeps away from being out in Anaheim. I'll be out there on Wednesday, and I seriously, at this point in my head, I have to remind myself that there is a convention going on.
It's true.
Because it's all the parties, all the friends, all the stuff that I'm looking for. I'm like, oh yeah, then I get to go to BlizzCon.
That's really, I mean, if I hadn't gotten pregnant, I wasn't even gonna get tickets to the con this year.
Wow.
Like, that's how I was gonna go. I've gone every year, or not every year. I've gone for the last 3 years or 2 years or whatever. I'm all mixed up now. I was gonna do something a little different. I was gonna go to like Disney World. I never get to do anything other than Blizzard stuff.
Yeah.
And the con for the Storm this year has been a beast to really plan, and so that's where a lot of, and I'm sure a couple people who are working with me on it would argue too. Like, our focus is so heavy on that. I'm with you. Like, you forget that there's a convention.
There's a convention going on? I just thought it was a bunch of parties with all my WoW friends.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you.
So, next up, we have a new hero in the Nexus. Over in Heroes of the Storm. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have not... I've been so pumped about the con coming up and everything else going on. I know nothing about this guy other than he's from StarCraft. Now, do you know anything about Artanis? Do you do Heroes of the Storm?
I do. I play Heroes of the Storm. I don't play to the point of... Like, I'm not in League play yet because I play just infrequently enough. I play it in spurts. And I'm not as familiar with StarCraft lore. I just started kind of getting into StarCraft. I really like it. But in terms of the hero himself, I watched the videos about him. I've kind of read up on him a little bit. And I really like to play Stitches in Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, bitches get stitches. And I like Stitches. And so Artanis has this move that's kind of similar called Phase Prism that I think looks really fascinating, and it involves, like, and I don't know how much you've seen of it, but he essentially will take and like shoot a little prism at an enemy and like warp and like change places with them.
Ooh.
And it's similar to, it reminds me of Stitches' like hook in a way, and there's something about Artanis that I think would be really fun. It being able to like screw with people like that.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah, so he looks like he'd be really fun and potentially a pretty powerful character to have. So I'd be curious. I wouldn't mind trying him out. So
right on.
Yeah.
Well,
so
now I want to dive into Heroes and go try Artanis. Like, this sounds like your whole little like a great character to mess with people. Like, that's my Heroes. Like that. I'm a murky player. I love messing with people.
Yeah, okay, I'm not that... See, I feel like Murky would be hard. It's a hard character to get to like, play.
Murky is hard to learn, and Murky is... Once you figure it out, once you kind of figure out the timing of his bubble and how to run away...
Yeah.
It's just fun. People are like, oh, I'm going to kill Murky. And you're like, no, you're not.
Nice.
Oh, you killed me. Oh, hey, I'm going to be back in 2 seconds.
Exactly. Like, you kind of get to troll people a little bit, and that's really fun.
Oh, I love it. And speaking of Murlocs, we actually had a little bit of WoW news this week. And this was actually my first experience of like a big, oh my gosh, this thing is going on WoW moment. Like having being so new, like I started playing WoW in December of last year. So this was the first like, oh my gosh, guys, there's this thing and we got to go do this thing. And that was the return of Turkey. Now, Turkey, for those that don't know, and Zia pre-show admitted that she didn't know.
No.
Turkey was a iCoke pet from, I think it was like patch 2.3.4, like way back in the day. Yeah. And so I'm presuming I didn't do the research into what iCoke was, but I'm going to guess that it was some sort of Coke promotion that had to do with the internets.
I should know what this is because I've been playing since, vanilla WoW. So
yeah.
This must have been a thing, and it just was never on my radar because I was so new. Like, it just didn't, So
well, he's this adorable little white Murloc you see on the screen here. For those that are not watching on the live stream, why not? But if you are listening on the download, thank you. I will put a link to Turkey in the show notes, or of course you can go search him over on Wowhead. But he's this adorable little white Murloc pet. You go out in Northrend, you fly down, you go under the ocean, and then there's this little. I'm gonna let y'all in on the leech strat here. You go into this cave, and there's this big egg looking thing on the cave, and the item that you actually get is a white Murloc egg. So you get the white Murloc egg, and then like many of the pets, you know, you get something, you click on it, it gives you the pet. It's not the giant egg in the middle of the room that everybody's clicking on repeatedly. In the back of the room, there's a little, it looks like a little campfire, like a campfire ring with the stones and the things, and there's an object in there that you're going to click on, and there's so many people, or there have been lately, so many people in there. It's going to be hard to get to. Be patient. I got mine fairly quickly. I've heard other people get them in about 5-10 minutes. And as who said this in the chat room? As Erlina in the chat room said, huge thanks and shout out to Ro. Also to Charlotte, who was the one on my server, but I believe she heard from Ro. The WoW community, somebody found out about, I don't know who was in this silly little cave, went to go click on this Murloc and found him. But it just swarms of people.
Oh, now everybody knows.
Oh, it was... I don't know, maybe it's not as crazy now, but oh man, that just to be in that, like, everybody's running out there like, are you trolling me? I want the Murloc. No, I want the Murloc. It was so much fun. So Zia, that is your homework. Okay. Now that you're officially, you know, a little bit more relaxed and not having to, you know, wake up and go to work now.
Wake up and go to work, yeah.
There you go.
Go get turkey.
All WoW all the time. Go get turkey.
Right. He's awful cute.
He's so adorable. He follows you around. Oh, and then they have the little Halloween the Halloween. Bleh. Did you make your pet all big? Words, podcasting. Sometimes they're hard.
Yes.
But no, they had a little thing, and you could make your pet bigger. And I made my little turkey murky bigger, and it's so much fun. Which, that's a thing that's going on that's not in the show notes. I'm glad I just thought about that. Hallow's End is going on. And right. I gotta ask you, have you been running your Headless Horseman? No. Or do you already have him?
No.
Ooh.
No, I've been doing that. I haven't really been doing a lot of gaming other than like Heroes of the Storm here and there. And then, have I been really playing many? I just played through Witcher.
Ooh.
Like, the first one, not the third one.
Okay.
I'm holding up two fingers like I was like, oh.
The first one.
The first one. I wanted to play, because I heard so much good things about Witcher 3 that I wanted to play. And I know you don't have to, but I'm.
Ooh, no, I'm that guy.
You're that guy too? Okay.
Yeah, so you got to do that.
Yeah, so I haven't really had time to like get lost in any other games here lately, and so I've been slacking on my Hollows End duties. So yeah. Nice.
Well, let me ask you, since I totally forgot to add the like, what have we been doing in WoW after I said we were going to talk about that. Wow, okay. I am on point tonight.
I started the show muted, so really,
yeah, it's just getting better and better. Because other than a few more 6.2.3 things, there really wasn't much else in news. So what have you been up to, like, this week in gaming? How about that? You said you did some Witcher.
Yeah.
Does it hold up? Was it fun or was it kind of rough? Like,
rough.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was hard. I mean, I got into it at first, and then it felt like I was doing a lot of busy work in the game.
Okay.
And a lot of fetching, and I didn't like that so much. And so, but I can see the allure. Okay. And the only reason I haven't started like digging into Witcher 3 yet is because so I have, God, this is gonna be a long, involved explanation. I apologize.
Please.
I play Steam. Me and my husband play Steam on our big screen. We have a computer set up in our living room, and so we have Steam games, and we play with our Xbox controller.
Okay.
And we need to update our video card, and so we started Witcher 3, and our computer's like, no, and so I'm waiting on getting another video card. So
nice.
And now after the show tonight, I know we're gonna dig into we're gonna dig into Tales from the Borderlands. The 5th episode just came out, and so I'm gonna dig into that That's like my next thing to do. So
Nice.
yeah, so
Now,
a little gaming here and there when I can. So
something that I like to do when people mention Steam, because it's all about competition as gamers. How many games do you have in your Steam library?
I would have to look,
Okay.
but it's a lot. It's
Okay.
a lot, and I cheat a little bit because I share a library with my husband Mark, and so
Okay.
and he has had Steam for a really really long time.
Now,
And
let me ask you this. Here's the follow-up.
yes,
Because the first part of the question isn't as important as this. How many of those games have never even been downloaded?
very many, very many.
Okay, as
Oh,
long as I'm
good
not the
grief. Is there
only
a
one.
quick way to count how many games you have?
Library. I think
Okay,
if you go to
63.
library.
63.
Okay.
So 63 games, and no, I have there are many that I've not touched.
Okay.
Steam
I'm-
sales, right? You're like, I'll play this eventually, you know?
Humble Bundle is what gets me.
Humble Bundle, yeah.
Oh, like 15 games at once. I'm like, I might play that one. But it's for charity.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so this week for me with
Yeah,
gaming, I did a little bit of raiding with Rubber Chicken Coalition. We had an absolute blast. Did an alt run, in Hellfire. I got to play my hunter, which, gosh, that was. I had Alessander, who is one of the co-hosts of Hunting Party podcast,
Yes, I
and
know
who
that, yeah.
also listens to every podcast under the sun and writes into everybody. Like, it's incredible. I don't know where this woman gets so much time to listen.
Where do you find time? Yeah.
I know. But she is absolutely fabulous. I was
Yeah.
embarrassed to be fail huntering in front of her. But no, did very little bit of Heroes. Got to see the little portrait that we got for watching the World Championships.
Mm-hmm.
Those finally came out probably like 3 weeks ago, and I'm just behind on it.
Yeah.
And Diablo leveling. I just started playing Diablo 3
Yeah. Wait, for the first time?
for the very first time.
What do you think?
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely
fun,
love
huh?
it. I'm playing a monk. I'm doing a seasonal monk so I can try to get the rewards, I guess. And that's what I was told to do. But the monk, oh my gosh, he's so much. It's just like clicky, clicky, clicky. Everything
Yeah.
dies. I get loot. I love this. I imagine like maybe there's mechanics at some point, but I
Yeah,
haven't found them yet.
You know, Diablo 3 is, I find the game kind of relaxing.
Yes.
Like, it sounds crazy because it's like demons and scary, and no, it's super, just something
There's-
about blowing things up and getting the
Yeah.
loot drop. Yeah, I like it.
there's
So
not
therapeutic.
there's not like it's not totally brainless, but there's not it's not like WoW raiding or going in and trying to play like The Witcher and having to think about it and do
Right.
things, and
Right.
it's just the right degree of brainless, I think.
It is, yeah. You get sucked into it, but it's the right degree of brainless.
Oh my god. And I am a huge like I'm hugely guilty of playing Netflix when I play games. Except for, and so I like miss a lot. I think the whole WoW leveling experience, I probably missed half of it because
You're just playing Netflix.
yeah, Netflix. Diablo though, the characters and the banter between like your character and the little guy that follows, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so
I'm glad
cool.
you like it.
I
It's a
am
fun-
having an absolute blast.
That's awesome. That's really great. You didn't play 2?
I played Diablo 1.
Okay.
So I played a long time ago. But I haven't touched it in so long. It was like an entirely new
No,
game to
brand
me.
new. Yeah, we snuck Diablo 2 onto our computers in high school.
Oh!
And so I played a little bit of it, but not Diablo 3 has been my biggest, exposure to Diablo, so
Nice.
yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So you knew more going into than I did, really.
It'd been so long because I
Yeah.
don't. It had to have been high school, like early in high school for me for Diablo 1. Because if you were playing 2 in high school,
Well, I just turned 30, so
I'm 32.
okay, so you got a couple years on me.
Yeah, but not enough to have been playing Diablo like 1 that I remember it. Maybe it was Diablo 2.
I don't know.
Jeez, I don't. Why don't you know this, Zia? Why don't you know about my high school gaming habits? This is why you're here. Jeez. First muting, and then we forget whole segments. And...
You had somebody from the Sundering on your show. Anytime you have anything with this involving our show, and you bring it in, we just bring it the level of every. Yeah, not a professional show at the Sundering, so.
Oh, that's great. But one of my absolutely favorite shows. I love your guys' show. It's one of the shows that does not get skipped in my podcast rotation.
That's so nice of you to say. Thank you. I'm shocked. It's that you would say that because, yeah, sometimes our show can get kind of rough.
That's a great part though. It's not always that, like the tight produce, like the Starting Zone. With Mick Montgomery's show, like
Mick has his act together.
He is very like this goes here. Like, yes, he does. I've had the wonderful opportunity of being on his show a couple times. His show notes, oh my good lord! Oh, it's like they're like stamped in stone, and this is what we will do. I will ask this question at this time with it, but it's so like it comes out as such a wonderful, great product at the very end. I don't think mine will ever look like that, but. Huge props to Mick for being able to pull that off. That's wonderful.
He's such a nice guy.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm glad he's somebody I've kind of gotten to know, like, little by little as I've gotten further along in podcasting. He's a really nice guy.
It's very helpful. Like, very helpful to the community. And I believe I don't know if he bought my burger. Maybe I bought his burger. I don't know. We had burgers together in LA like a few months ago. So that was really cool.
You broke burgers together.
We did.
So that you're friends.
We broke burgers. I drank. He didn't. He was everything froze. Ooh, hey. Everything's back. I handled that well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're all...
Yep. Am I crazy? Am I good?
We're good. No, my everything just like
yeah, mine did too. I blame Skype. We'll go with Skype.
Cool. All right, we'll go with Skype.
I blame Skype.
Yeah, it's Skype's. Now, with that wonderful, successful segment, let's get into the meat and potatoes. All right, so Miss Zia, tell me a little bit more about yourself. You actually co-host 2 podcasts, so we touched a little bit about the Sundering.
Yeah.
And you also do Netfreaks, which I have to admit I have not yet listened to.
That's okay. It's infancy, so.
I just read your Twitter description of it. I was like, oh my god, it's going in my ears tomorrow. While I'm sitting on a plane. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you. Tell me a little bit about these 2 shows. What are they?
Sure. So the Sundering is pretty easy to sum up. The Sundering is essentially, as Sarah always likes to put it, it's like your guild chat when they've had a whole bunch to drink and they're screwing around and they're just having a good night. Myself, Seraphis, and Ray. Let's see. This Sunday will be our 250th episode. Wow! And I know it's crazy.
Congrats.
And how in the hell we've kept it up for so long, I don't know. We just gave up and just show up every Sunday, and so it's pretty vulgar. So definitely listen with headphones on. It's not for the faint of heart, but we dabble in Warcraft, but it's very general gaming potpourri, and we're just a really goofy, fun show, very laid back. Netfreaks is a little more. Netfreaks is, and the thing that it's been interesting doing Netfreaks because the Sundering is a live show.
Yep.
Netfreaks is pre-recorded, and so we do a lot of pre-research before we go into Netfreaks, where the Sundering is very just, we put some things in there and kind of just go with the flow. Netfreaks is which every time I say that, I always think it sounds like a porn show. When we were trying to think of the name, we were trying to come up with a name. It's Berlin from, I am drawing a blank because he's on a couple different shows, and then Random Geek, and, or Adam. So Adam and David's Berlin. And we three were trying to think of a name, and Adam's like, or David says, what about Netflix?
Is he from the Nexus podcast?
Yes.
Is he? Oh my gosh,
yeah.
That's so cool.
Those guys. They're on the show together, so those guys. So, super nice guys, actually. And so Berlin's like, oh, I'm thinking Netfreaks. And I'm like, that sounds vulgar. It really sounds like somebody's gonna type that in looking for like boobs. I don't know if this is the show name, but it's stuck and it's fit, and it's essentially, you asked me what the show's about, and I keep rambling about other things. The show is, we take Netflix originals. It's purely Netflix originals.
Okay.
And we watch them, and then we discuss them.
Wow.
And one of the things that's been really fun with Netfreaks is subscribing now. Yeah, Brill does. It's the Nexus. And, yeah. I always confuse the Nexus in Heroes of the Nexus.
Yeah.
I always confuse those two. Because I'm friends with everybody on both of them. And so they would kill me for saying that. Sorry. So Netflix does Netflix originals, and one of the things that Brill is, he's amazing when it comes to history, and he really likes to try, anytime the show can tie in history, he'll go after it. So our first show that we did was Marco Polo. And so we talk a lot about the Mongol Empire, and we like to look at, okay, this happens in the show, but how accurate is it? What was it really like? And so we like to draw in pieces of history. And we just finished up Narcos. And so
Nice.
Narcos is another, and that's another one where we get to talk a little bit about, well, in reality, was it like this, or is it more like, so we do that. We're getting ready to do, I think I'm allowed to say, I don't see why I couldn't say this. We're getting ready to do The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we all agreed that we would do one very serious show, and then we could do one fun show to, like, lighten the mood. So that's the next show on deck, and I think after that might be Daredevil.
Ooh.
So, yeah, and I haven't seen it, and I thought Mick was coming on for that, but I don't know for certain.
You haven't seen Daredevil yet?
I haven't watched it.
Girl, hand in your nerd card. What are you doing?
I know, that's what everybody's telling me.
Are you holding off for Netfreaks?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was going to watch it. My husband's watched it. He's like, it's really freaking sweet. You should watch it. He doesn't talk like that. I don't know why I did that voice for him. But, and I'm like, well, we're going to watch it for Netfreaks. And he's like, maybe you should wait. Because Brill and Adam have watched it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to go in with the new view.
Okay.
First time. So that's essentially what Netfreaks is. And go ahead.
How do you approach, you said you just got done with Narcos. Do you go episode by episode, or do you watch the whole season and then how does it work?
It kind of depends on the show. So for Marco Polo, it's a little more dense. So we would do about 2 episodes.
Okay.
Per our episode. After Marco Polo, we did Wet Hot American Summer. That was 1 episode, I believe. Yeah, and then Narcos, we've had to spread out multiple episodes. Kimmy Schmidt's going to be just 1.
Nice.
So it just kind of depends on how long the show does. Kimmy Schmidt's really easy to binge watch. It's only 13 episodes. They're 30 minutes each, so.
Yeah.
That's like an afternoon doing laundry. Almost. So.
You do laundry differently than I do. Wow.
When I do choose to do laundry.
I was going to say my wife is going to listen to this later and smack me for saying that I ever do laundry. So, full disclosure, I do no laundry. I am useless with laundry. Oh, jeez. Well, now, you didn't come on here to just talk about how amazing Netflix originals are. Or how there's a new amazing, cool, awesome, new white murky named Turkey that everybody should go out and get. His name's Turkey. He's awesome. He's so cute. Put him in the pocket. Pull him out. Show him the people. You're here to talk about the #1 BlizzCon pre-party. The place to be. Number one in my heart.
You're too kind.
The place to be on Thursday night. The party known as the Con Before the Storm.
Yeah.
Zia, tell us a little bit more about this thing. What is this?
Oh, hell, where to start? So Thursday night at the Hilton, it starts at 6. And it is essentially grown into something... God, where do I start when I talk about this party? There's so much history and stuff that goes into it.
You said it starts at 6 p.m.
Yes, the short version is...
What is the cost? What is the cost of admission? How much is it gonna cost me to get into this incredible storming before con?
You have to show up with a smile and a positive attitude. It is completely free.
Oh, it's like half of my guildies are gone already.
Yeah. It's just it is all about just hanging out, having fun, geeking out, and it's at no cost. Thankfully, we're so lucky. I love this community. It's purely funded. It was crowdfunded, and through a Kickstarter, and we've also had donations from some sponsors. Ask Mr. Robot's one of our biggest partners in this. So
I'm wearing their shirt tonight.
I noticed that. Thank you. That's and it's always kind of fun because through planning the last 2 years, V from Ask Mr. Robot, who's an incredibly nice, just like hardworking lady, and I've gotten to see some of the shirts that they've thought of before they come out, and it's always like, like I can't wait to see like what people think of this. So it's at 6. It's at the Hilton. It's on the 4th floor, and one of the things, I'm just gonna start rambling, and you tell me when to shut up.
No, go for it.
One of the things last year that we never anticipated was how many people showed up, and so for those of you who, my face got really big. So strange, bizarre. I'm gonna minimize myself here. So I like looking at you. I like looking at you. I
can come back.
Oh, I mean, you can.
Yay. No, that's cool.
So last year we had Jinx. Jinx was there last year. They were going to be here this year. Last year, Jinx estimates we saw 3,500 people.
Wow. And
we never anticipated having that many people show up. And so this year we decided, okay, maybe we should get a little more space. And so for those of you who were there last year, we had about, if you imagine the shape of the Hilton building is like an eye. And so the bottom half, I'm holding this pen, this reference, like half of the eye was last year. We got the whole bottom now this year. We've essentially doubled in size.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to take up a large amount of space. And what we're hoping is that the bottleneck that happened last year, because one of the things we really pride ourselves on is trying not to have any kind of line.
Yeah.
We want to be accommodating and welcome, so you can just walk right in. So we're hoping the bottleneck that was last year won't happen this year. It's much larger. So, yeah. So
now,
it's not an undertaking.
Now, what should people expect at Calm Before the Storm? Like, is there going to be line dancing? Will there be polka music? Or maybe is there going to be, like, maybe some panels or some art stuff?
Depends on, how drunk some people get. So I have to think of this in terms of the rooms. So one of the biggest things that we wanted to make sure that we did was a World of Podcast. World of Podcast is mine and a few other folks. It's our baby, and so World of Podcast is very special to us, and that's one of the main things that's there. It's a little different this year. It's before it was more panel format. This year it's going to be pure podcast. And we're it's going to be interesting. I'm thankful to the guys for letting me, because I kind of got in a call with a couple of folks. I got in a call with like Ro, Seraphis, and said, what do you guys think about doing a podcast instead this year? And so it's going to be about 15-minute segments of a variety of different shows. And you can go, our website is floating around somewhere, and that lists all the shows. The Instance is going to have the biggest chunk of that. They're going to go for an hour. And and that was amazing to me that Scott is willing to show up to our event. So, so World of Podcast is really like the bread and butter of some of the event, and it's there for folks who like podcasting or may not know too much about podcasting, but just want to be entertained. And so that's World of Podcast. The art gallery is another really, really huge draw to our event. Again, I have to thank V from Ask Mr. Robot for that. That was her baby and her brainchild. So last year we had over 200 pieces of art. This year I don't think we quite hit that mark, but it's still going to essentially look the same. It's going to be lined up along the walls. We're going to have a photo booth in that room. Last year we had a photo booth, but I feel like it didn't get as much attention, so we're moving it. As of right now, we're going to have it in that same room. And the concept's the same. The art's going to be given away for free at the end of the night to attendees. Yeah. So, and it's all done from the community. Let's see. Where else? Where do I go to next from here? Two things. Hey, you signed up for a long spiel here.
Oh, I love it. Like I can see you like walking around the room in your head.
Yeah,
like this is awesome.
That's how I have to do it. I have to walk around the rooms in my head. And so we have a room. One of the big things that people kept coming up to me last year, to myself and the other organizers, and they were saying, I really wish I had more places to sit. There wasn't enough places to just sit and hang out. So to try and rectify that this year, we're going to offer two things. One of the biggest rooms we've dedicated to it's called the Tavern. And it's essentially going to be the room where you can go play trivia, board games, things like that. Adam, who's one of my co-hosts from Netfreaks, he is in charge of that room along with Homebrewed. And they have some really interesting things up their sleeves, especially when it comes to Hearthstone.
Right on. And
I don't know what I'm allowed to say, actually, in regards to that. They're doing some really interesting things with Hearthstone.
Sweet.
And I'm curious what people think of what they do. So...
All right, well, you guys heard it.
I'm trying to think of how to...
There's going to be cool Hearthstone things going on.
Yeah, I wasn't told what I could or...
I'm excited.
I wasn't told that I couldn't say anything about this, but the thing about
that's enough of a teaser. If you're scared about... This isn't Barbara Walters. You don't have to cry and spill everything. It's okay.
No, they're just... It may not be all digital. And that's what I'll say. Yeah, it may not be all digital. As of right now. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be the Tavern. We wanted a place for people to sit and hang out. And so that's on one side of the event. So if you can imagine the event along this long I-beam, the Tavern's over here. And on the other side, it's going to be something called the Tap Room. And the Tap Room's going to be ran by Derry, formerly of Open Raid, and they are Zerg ID now. I can say that now. They're Zerg ID. And so Derry and her team of folks are going to be running this room called the Tap Room. The Tap Room is going to essentially be for meet and greets with personalities, essentially. And she's in the process of finalizing who those people are. So we have not sent out a formal, this is who's going to be in the Tap Room yet. So I can't quite say anybody yet. But there are, I promise that there are going to be people you would want to hang out with in there. But it's also going to be a room dedicated to just kind of chilling, hanging out. Let's see, what else am I missing? Oh, the forum. I'm sure you're going to be really interested in me talking about this one. So,
just this thing. You invited some people.
Yeah, so the forum this year, and then after this, I think I'll be done for now. And Jesse Cox is confirmed. See, Ro, that's why Ro is here, because he can. Part of the reason that Ro's in here is he's making sure that I behave myself, probably, because I've been on maternity leave, and every time I try to peek into some of our channels, I get kicked back out by people. So, the forum is essentially going to be So one of the things that people really, really liked about World of Podcasts was the panel style. Yep. And so we wanted to try to have the panel style but with a little bit more of a twist. Because we didn't want it to just be like 5 people who sit up there and just blab to you. We wanted it to be really interactive. We wanted it to be more Q&A, more intimate. And so the forum is essentially going to be and I think we are almost at the point of releasing the entire schedule. It's essentially going to be things like podcasting Q&A, how to do a startup, things like that. That's sort of some of the things it's going to be doing. We also are going to have a live art exhibit, essentially, like an artist stage, essentially. So the person who does our art, Hugh, is going to be doing a live drawing in the forum. So it's going to be a little bit of Will, who's running that, over at D20, calls it the left brain, right brain. And so the things like logistics and stuff like that, and then the left brain, which is more art.
Nice.
So that's what the forum is. It's yeah, I'm curious what people are going to think of it. So, yep. Ro said it better than I did. Maybe you should have just had Ro on the show.
I actually did have Ro on the show.
I know you had Ro on the show last week?
3 weeks?
3 weeks ago? Okay, I knew you had him on the show.
It's been a little while.
And he probably would talk about this in a more educated manner than I could. I just get so excited about it that I just like, I take off. So
no, I love it. I love it. That's what Ro and I definitely talked a little bit more about the world of podcasts, kind of slice of the pie.
Yeah, that's
he didn't say anything about this tavern and this like, Ro, come on, man, tavern. That's all you had to say, bro. Come on.
Well, yeah. So it's
Well, for those that aren't in the chat room or on the live stream, Ro has said the forum has elements similar to what people saw in World of Podcasts last year, but we're opening it up to a variety of community participants.
Yes. Because one of the things I worried about with World of Podcasts is I said zip about anything outside of World of Podcasts.
Yep.
Because Ro is smart. Because, like me, I will say something I'm not allowed to say, and then people will come back to me and be like, "How are you supposed to say that?" Like, so we're trying to let things unfold as it gets closer and closer to build up hype.
Yeah.
And this year it's been an undertaking compared to the previous 2 years because the team of people got a lot bigger. And so there's been, there's always growing pains with that. And and so it's been a labor of love. We've all been working on this since I'd say March.
No, how many people are on the team? Like, just to give people an idea.
It depends on which. Yeah, so we have sort of like team leads, and so we have let's see. There's Jerry from Open Raid, Veronica from Ask Mr. Robot. Then World of Podcast has Fimless from Twisted Nether. Ro and Seraphis has been working on that, so that's about 5. Then myself, although I've taken more of a backseat. Will, I'm sure I'm missing somebody. We have Sean, who's doing an organization of volunteers this year. So we have like about 8 team leads. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody important, and I apologize to that person if I am. So we have about 8 team leads. And then last year, we didn't really have any volunteers. We just had people who showed up and went like, "You guys look screwed. I want to help you." So this year, we're trying to have, yeah. Come on, stop it, Brian! Quit trying to steal my thunder. He's in the chat room like we have a couple hundred people who's help. Stop! He's just stealing my thunder.
I can't.
What a jerk.
Well, to be fair, you said 8, and then he went with 100. Like, I'm guessing maybe there's like 32. Like, are we gonna shoot like somewhere in the middle? Rose like, it's a huge deal. So he was like, yeah, there's a couple people.
Yeah, no, we really, I have to go right now. I wasn't trying to run you. Oh, no, you don't have to be like that. Yeah, come on, eyebrows. Don't do me like that.
No.
Oh.
You're my boy, Ro.
My boy. You my boy, bro.
I feel like he's not gonna let me sit next to him now.
Yeah. You're gonna have Dustin between.
Yeah, no, Dustin sits there. You're on the other end.
Yeah. It's gonna be like mom and dad are fighting. No, he does have a good point though. We were woefully underprepared last year, and so this year we're going into it with a much larger team of people. And so because the first year we thought, 2013 World of Podcasts, we thought, nobody's gonna show up, like we'll get like maybe 100 people, and Sarah's like, oh, we got about, I estimate we got about 300. Wow. 350. I'm like, that's great. 300 people? That's really awesome. And so we were like, let's do it again. Let's do it again in 2014. We should do it again. Okay. And so when we get to the Hilton, we estimated, I think 600 to maybe 1,000 people. We did not think the people who showed up would show up. We just didn't. It just, wow. Because there's a much larger party that goes on at the same time as ours.
Nope. I haven't heard of it. Not gonna be there. Doesn't exist.
Now you're really, really playing to my ego here.
Yeah. No, I didn't know about any other parties.
Well, we just didn't anticipate that the outpouring from people, and so we really want to try and do right by the community and do our best to accommodate for a lot of people. We want it to be comfortable. We don't want people to be shoulder to shoulder, and so, and we want something that's there for everyone.
Oh yeah. So
if you don't like podcasting, that's okay. Go check out the art. Go sit in on a forum panel. Like it's yeah.
Right on.
I think I'm good. I think I got it all out of my system that I need to for now.
I think that was a lot. That was
sorry.
really good. No, that was wonderful. That is exactly why. Okay, for those that don't know, little behind the scenes machinations for you. I messaged Zia earlier this week, so this was very short notice. I was like, "Hey, would somebody from your team be available to talk?" And she was like, "Well, maybe this person or maybe this person." And Zia doesn't even know. I was like, "Oh no, I meant Zia. I want Zia to come on."
Oh.
And I would have been very excited by either of the other two individuals that were mentioned. Do not get me wrong. Both of them, I have a lot of respect, love, and fanboy, about them as well. But I was like, no, I want Zia to come on the show. I need, this is awesome. I'm not going to fanboy out. I promised myself I wouldn't do this. Even after I saw you do it on Monday night. I'm just saying, I saw that.
Embarrassing.
That was awesome.
That was humiliating. I really, really like Game Grumps a lot. Yeah. Oh, that was humiliating. And see, here I was, because I haven't been as in the loop. I've just been on the outskirts, making sure that there isn't little bits and pieces that people haven't thought of.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I've been trying to take a step back and let Seraph I've asked him to really make sure that things run smoothly that day. And I really want to let him do what he needs to do and take the reins and get off his back. And so I was like, well, he would be better suited to come onto your show, because I'll just get excited and ramble and so.
I love it. No, that's great. Yeah. If you haven't noticed, I'm not the most everything has its place sort of. This was perfect.
Yeah. No.
I absolutely love it. So let me ask you. Frosty pointed this out in the chat. And Frosty, thank you for saying this. He said, yeah, there's literally something for everyone. And is that true? Like, Zia, I don't like podcasts, but I think those Warcraft art people are great. So you go see the art, right?
Yeah. That was one thing with World of Podcasts.
Maybe I don't even play WoW. What about, you said you're going to have a tavern thing with some Hearthstone stuff?
Games and Hearthstone stuff, and
What?
I know, it's crazy.
You guys are like the con for everybody.
That's what we're trying to do, yeah.
No, the one thing that I haven't heard mentioned, and this is actually an honest question, is there going to be alcohol sold at Calm Before the Storm?
Yes.
Okay, I figured Seraphis was involved. He wouldn't let that slip by.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be, there will be bartenders there. And it is an all ages event. I will say that you don't have to be a certain age. They'll check your IDs. So for alcohol purchases, but you can bring your kids and things like that. World of Podcast the forums, anything that's involving like a show type thing, we're trying to keep about PG-13. And
Okay.
so,
That's
yeah,
good
you
to
shouldn't
know.
hear too many F-bombs. No promises, because the Sundering is going to be going on with Stopcast. And so since it's just Sarah on his own, him and the Stopcast guys are going to do a dual show together for their segment at World of Podcast. So I can't promise your kids will want to hear anything they say. But yeah, so definitely there will be alcohol. So even if the party sucks, keep drinking until it's awesome.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, all right, you talked a little bit. You told on yourself and the party a little bit from last year from the lines, and you guys have fixed that. That's one thing that I've heard from everybody, or you're doing your absolute best to have that fixed.
Yeah, we're really trying to fight it this year. Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask you, can you tell me your funniest Con Before the Storm memory? Extra pluses if it's embarrassing for Seraphis.
Oh, wait.
She didn't know I was going to do this, by the way, guys.
I'm trying to
this
think
is
of
like spot pudding.
Well, it's tough because the Con Before the Storm is the. Oh, I can go to World Podcast.
Yeah, you can go back to the
Sweet.
years back.
Good.
Yeah, you can use World of Podcasts.
Great. It's actually embarrassing for my co-host Rafus.
Oh,
and
perfect.
He was actually really pissed
The
about
Bird
this
King.
The Bird King. Everyone
like
else
it.
thought he was really hysterical. He was really angry.
Oh no.
But our very first year, this gentleman showed up. I believe he was Australian,
Okay.
and he was really drunk. So he had a very thick accent. The more he drank, and he got drunk, and I don't know how he did it, but he ripped a hole in Ray's pants from like butt to like crotch. I don't know why I'm gesticulating with this.
With the Burlock.
Yeah, but he did. He ripped like a hole from here to there in his jeans, and I want to say that might have been the only pair of jeans he brought. I don't know for certain.
Oh no.
But we thought it was the funniest thing that this guy showed up and ripped a hole in Andy's pants.
How did he even manage that?
I don't know.
Like, I've drank before, and I don't think I've ever ripped a hole in anyone's pants.
I don't know. And so he had to walk around with a hole in his crotch. Like, he put stickers. Jinx gave us some stickers, and I believe he put either a World of Podcast sticker or like a Jinx sticker over the holes. And yeah, he was I felt bad for him in a way. He was really upset about it. I would have been furious if he tore a hole in my pants.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
funny as shit. I mean, it's just, Last year, I can't really attest any funny stories because I was so stressed out last year that I don't feel like I ever stopped moving. So I never calmed down enough to like do anything stupid. So I'd say that the very first year when Ray got a hole ripped in his pants.
Right on. Let's hope that we do not repeat that again.
No.
Yeah, that does sound hilarious though.
Oh, it was so funny. And I mean, we didn't know what we were doing. Now we have the things in place where we could have somebody like that taken out of the party.
Yeah.
Like we're much more we've as each year we realize, okay, we need to make sure we have event insurance. Like there's things that you need to do. And so
You learn a little bit more every time you
single year. Yeah.
Right on. Oh,
Thanks for asking me that.
I'm glad I got to hear that story. That's great. Now, one thing I'm hesitant to ask about this, and you can tell me that it's still a work in progress, because I've seen a lot of chitter chatter about it, and I know even Ro and I talked about it, and that's as far as either live streaming or videos of any of the events. Is there? Do we know yet? Is it simply it's in the works? Because I mean that's a perfectly fine answer.
We're gonna do our darn best to make it happen.
Okay.
So Alpha Geek Radio is going to be handling the recording of World of Podcasts this year. We're very, very pleased.
Oh, they rock.
Yeah, I'm very pleased to have Todd. He's been a very nice guy. He is a very nice guy, and he's gonna handle recording it. But where we want to have it streamed, if at all possible. One of the things one of the things that makes it really tough is you have to make a choice. Do we pay the money to stream this, and it may not be the best quality?
Yep.
Or do we just have a really good dang recording of it and then release it after the fact in HD and focus the funds somewhere else? That's a really tough thing to balance.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the Hilton is really not kind when it comes to purchasing hard lines. It's not cheap, and that's hard. And so we're gonna do our best to stream it. And I can say this. I think this is safe to say. The forums are going to be recorded, and then released after.
And I think that's exactly what Rose said. Was that the forums were at that time? The forums were planning to be like recorded, and he didn't know if what he and I were doing was going to be recorded, but either he or I will.
It is.
Yeah,
you will be recorded. I mean, you can certainly take your own equipment there.
Oh, sweet. That was going to be a question for later. Can I record it just for me? Just set my GoPro
of course.
up. Right here. I'll just hold my GoPro.
Have it right. Just
hi, everyone. My name is Cuddles. Hi. I don't know why my GoPro is now my GoPro is actually sitting on the other side of my. I could have actually.
We wanted to try and get those recorded, and so that's what's going to happen. We're going to have things in the rooms that will allow us to do that, and so hopefully that answers your question.
No, that's perfect. That's what I've seen people asking about it, and I will say this now. I asked earlier today. I asked the Twitter community if they had any questions about Calm Before the Storm. So are you prepared for this, Zia?
I hope so. And if I don't have the answer tonight, I can get the answer to them.
Well, I'll tell you what. Nobody responded.
No, okay, assholes.
So thanks, guys. Thanks for that. Appreciate the great support.
Way to really show up.
I'm kidding.
I think it's because they're getting their questions answered and don't need to ask.
It is. It's because the team behind Calm Before the Storm has done an absolutely fabulous job of putting all this great information out there. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. I cannot fathom trying to do this without the people that are working on this. I love the team that I have behind me, and I'm just so thankful to them. I'm thankful to them, and I'm thankful to the community.
Can you do this? Can you do this one more time for Stonegrasp here in the chat room? Mr. WoW Challenges himself is asking where exactly the party's being held.
Oh, hi, Mr.
I don't want to
WoW
forget
Challenges.
that.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, Calm Before the Storm is a really, really big party that myself and a team of people are putting together. It's going to be on the Thursday before BlizzCon, the weekend of BlizzCon. It's Thursday the 5th, and it starts at 6 o'clock in the evening. It's on the 4th floor of the Hilton. And you're not a dumbass. No way.
Oh, no, you're not, buddy.
No, I'm glad you asked. No, it's all good. So, and it's a good recap because I've rambled a lot tonight.
No, it's a great recap. The rambling has been wonderful.
Yeah, it's on the 4th floor of the Hilton, and it essentially is sort of like a potpourri party, like not with good smelling stuff, but like it's a little bit of everything.
Bunch of stinky neckbeards.
Yes. No. No.
We're supposed to shower. That's important, right?
Oh, always.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's essentially if you want to go and listen to some podcasts, we're gonna have World of Podcasts there. If you kind of get tired of that or that's not your thing, we have an art gallery. There's really going to be a little bit of something there for everyone to get into. Right so too long didn't read. It's a big party.
There you go.
On the 5th at the Hilton.
It's a party, 6 p.m. Be there early.
Yeah.
Because shameless self-promotion. This guy named Cuddles, this guy named Ro, and this other dude named Dustin from the Game Case show, Horde for Life, and Realm Maintenance, all respectively, and mixed up there, so you can't tell where we're from if you don't know us. We will be doing a little forum panel at 6 p.m. So get there early.
Right.
Bring your friends. And, yeah, we're going to be talking at 6 p.m. about some absolutely fun and amazing things.
Yeah. You guys are going to knock it out of the park. I'm really excited that you three are together.
I'm pumped. I could not be more excited.
Building the forum was one of the... and I know I touched on this when we first started talking, but the forum was one of, I think, more so than World of normally World of Podcast is a bit of an undertaking because there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of coordinating of schedules. The forum was especially hard this year because there's a lot of people who didn't quite fit into World of Podcast mold that we wanted to try and include their expertise in other places, but we wanted to also do so in a way that made sense to what their expertise was and things like that. So the forum was really, we're very thankful because everybody who we've asked to do it has been really excited to do it and has been really excited about the people they've been paired with.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of egos in doing what we do. Yeah. And you'll find that there's some people who have very particular ways that things they like to do, things they don't like to do, talk about, don't talk about. And so we've been very lucky in that everybody is just excited to get together. And so, yeah.
Well, that's what I have never, I will be meeting Dustin for the very first time. Like, I have no interactions with that. Like, obviously, the planning of our panel. I've been on Roe's show. I've had him on mine. Like, it's Roe. Like,
sure.
Roe. Like, it's just awesome. And even though he left to go raid.
What a jerk.
I'm
going to give him such a hard time.
You really should.
In fact, I'm looking because I feel like I got a message from... I think Roe sent a message to me.
I don't know why I'm looking at my phone. Like, I'm going to... Like, oh, he sent you a message?
Yeah. Oh, he sent me something else. Yeah, we all have a shared... we use this program called Slack. And if...
Yep.
Are you familiar with it?
Oh, yeah. We actually... I introduced it at my place of work, and I'm also using it with... Mick and his crew, and with Roe and Dustin.
With Roe and Dustin? Yeah. We use Slack. I'm proud of Roe, actually, because when we first started using Slack, he was like, I don't know about this thing. I don't know about this Slack, Zia. And I was like, dude, just, come on, you're really going to do it.
Until you start using it. Then you're like, oh my god, how did we survive without it?
And I mean, our Slack, there's so many different channels, like... It just, I'm looking at it. There's like 12 different channels, but it's been the best way for us to keep things organized but talking to one another. It's like forums on steroids. I love Slack, so I'd recommend it to anyone.
And you get the email updates, so even if you miss something, it gets in there. Like No, it's
been very, very useful.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Pro tip of the day. If you have a team that you need to communicate with, go to slack.com. That's slack.com. Your leader in slackly talking with your team. I don't know their tagline. Don't know if they have one. They're not paying me, but they should.
You're going to be getting some money.
There you go. I'm waiting for my check.
Free ad.
Yeah,
free ad.
Exactly. Look at that. Don't say free. Yeah. Don't. We haven't even begun negotiations yet. You said free already. My position is entirely weakened. Oh, Slack and GroupMe. Slack is much more... GroupMe is group chat. Slack is more focused towards tasks. Yes? Tasks and teams. Would that be...
I've never used GroupMe, so...
Okay. All right, then I will speak with authority. Because no one can question me.
You have the floor, sir.
Slack is much more focused towards teams and tasks. You can set tasks for the different people within it, and you can set up you got 10 people. You want these 2 people working on this, these 2 people working on this, but then everybody can collaborate on all the things. I don't even know what I'm putting together here, but it becomes Slack.
It's making sense to me, but it's probably because I'm familiar with Slack. So
there you go. There you go. Stone. It's really if you have people to collaborate with. I don't know if it makes sense for like a 2-person team, you and a co-host for a podcast. But if there's 3 people and you're actually collaborating on things and have multitudes of tasks, use it. Great for you. And
Con Before the Storm has been useful with Slack, or Slack has been useful for Con Before the Storm, because of the different. There's, I mean, what is there? 8 different rooms. I mean, there's so many different rooms.
Yeah.
So like, we'll have a channel that's dedicated to the tavern, and that room is where people who are working on the tavern. So Adam, Homebrewed, Will. There's just a few of us in there, and we can talk about what we want to see, what the next thing we need to do. Things like that. There's a Slack channel that's dedicated to World of Podcast. That's where we say, okay, guys, when's the next meeting? You know, things like that. So it's been so, golly, that's been a lifesaver. And I'm glad that you guys have been utilizing it, because I didn't think Brian liked it. Sorry, I say Brian and Ro, I use interchangeably.
It's a thing. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, sorry.
Bro.
Bro. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. We get that. What's up, bro? That's gonna be a thing now.
Bro.
Hashtag bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have a giant ant crawling on my wall.
Kill it.
Like really big. No,
Kill it
thank
live.
you.
Do it live. Kill it.
Oh. All right. Unmanliest comment of the night. I don't like squishing bugs. I don't like it because there's like bug guts everywhere. He's not bothering me. I'm not bothering him. I'm gonna call the pest control guy, and he can kill him.
Spiders.
Oh no! Spiders! I run. Like I call my wife. I don't like. I've literally called. She's been out of town. I have called her and been like, I can't leave the bathroom. There's a spider in the doorway. What do? And I may or may not have slept in the bathtub that night. Not even gonna lie. Spiders terrify me.
I don't like them either. I'm with you, buddy.
And now that we are on to the pest control podcast, I think that's about going to do it for tonight.
Yeah.
So that brings us.
Thanks for reeling me in.
Well, thank you for coming and playing on the game case tonight. You said that we had to joke and have fun. So hopefully we did a little. Hopefully you had a good time.
I had a very good time. I laughed a lot.
Right on.
I think you did too.
I did. This was an absolute blast. It's seriously, since I've been listening. I started playing WoW in December. I've been listening to WoW podcasts since Total Biscuit had Blue Please. That was one of the first that I started listening to. And I picked up the Sundering probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah. And to have you on my show, like, I'm
seriously
not gonna fanboy.
Are you kidding? Really? That's
together.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, really, like, huge fan, like, absolutely huge fan.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
really,
much.
like, you guys do a great job over there. Are you like, I've embarrassingly missed the last couple of. What are you doing for 250? Are you doing anything?
We actually
doing anything
really
crazy?
No.
Rafus in a bird suit.
Rafus in a bird suit. No, honestly, when we found out we were having Michelle Morrow on for 249, all of our efforts went into, like, we were like, oh my gosh, we need to put on the best show we've ever had for Michelle Morrow coming on. Yeah.
And that was an incredible show. I did catch that one.
Thank you. Yeah, that show, that was one of those shows that at the end of it, you can look back on it and, like, hang your hat on and be like, I think we did a really damn good job. And you felt you could pat yourself on the back, you know? She's an easy person to talk to, though. In our, you know, she makes it very easy to have on a show. Very laid back. And so we don't have plans for 250. We really don't. We're just gonna kind of do our thing. Right on. So, yeah.
Now, what time? You mentioned that Netfreaks is a recorded podcast, which I have to say that's so cool. Like just the difference between live. Like, don't you just, like, sometimes you just forget that you're, like, you don't have to keep talking and you could stop and
it's edit. Relaxing. It's relaxing. I mean, there's something, you know, the live show like we're doing now, it's very engaging. You have a chat room, you can kind of goof off and talk to them. But, you know, I started the show muted. and like, it's live. So on the one hand, it's funny. But on the other hand, it's like, oh, my God. Like, that's it. Like, that it's out in the world now.
We totally could have restarted that. Like, it was so, but no, that was awesome. That was perfect.
It's genuine.
That's podcasting.
That is podcasting. That's an accurate thing. Yeah. So doing a pre-recorded show, I've been trying to talk Sarah into letting us do a couple pre-recorded ones, but he's very hot on doing live shows. He loves doing live shows. So,
well,
yeah,
no, you said
Netflix
that he
is a little...
loves doing the live show. When do you guys do that?
Oh, we do that on Sundays at 9:00 Eastern. Damn, that was a good transition. Look at you. You're better. You were excited about having me on. You're a better podcaster than I am.
No,
yeah.
I'm just a fat guy that sits in front of a mic. That's it. I am honestly. You said that you were surprised that people show up at Comic Before at World of Podcast. I'm genuinely surprised when somebody's like, "Hey, I listen to your show." I'm like, why? Like, not really,
not like
but
a nice. No, but it is. And I don't know how to say it in a way that doesn't sound self-serving in a way.
No, go for it.
But it's more of a matter of, well, like even with Con for the Storm, it's people have said, "Oh, I'm really glad you have this party. Like it's really sweet, it's really awesome, whatever." But the fact that you do something and it's done something for someone else that's either made them happy or sad or it's affected someone in some way, it's like, okay, it makes you self-aware. Like, okay, don't screw up. It makes you do better, and it just helps you. It connects you with someone, and it's a wonderful thing. And it is a great thing when somebody says, "I'll listen to you." It's like, yeah,
Oh yeah,
it feels good.
It does, and it's such a. I don't podcasting. Even doing a live show and having a stream can sometimes be like a sort of a lonely venture, and you're sitting in front of a mic. You're talking to a mic. And you're not interacting. I'm interacting with you tonight, which is great.
Yeah.
But normally I'm solo. And so it's like getting that feedback, having somebody say something is so very awesome. And speaking of feedback and segues, I do have one iTunes review I would like to read.
Oh, please.
Can I read one? Okay.
Heck yeah.
This is from Rat Trap 24 from the US of A.
Oh, Rat Trap. Yeah.
5-star review. He said, "Okay, so you, sir, have made my work days driving a garbage truck 12 hours a day amazing. I made a monk on your server. I'm thinking about joining the CTR community, but we shall see. Exalt Fury Warrior on Blood Scalp." Rat Trap, Exalt Fury, is that like a class? Is it? This is how new I am. Exalt Fury Warrior? Or is he Exalt the Fury Warrior?
It sounds like Exalt the Fury Warrior.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if like Exalt was a class and I was about to sound silly.
No.
Exalt, dude, thank you so much.
You're the most adorable human being. You're so cute.
Thank you. Exalt, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. Dude, driving a garbage truck for 12 hours a day. That's wow, man. I got some respect for that. That's
thank you for doing what you do, Rat Trap.
Yeah, I appreciate the heck out of that. And dude, if you're thinking about joining the CTR community, stop thinking. Come on in. Come in and play. It's a family. It's community, teamwork, and respect are the 3 pillars of the CTR community. And I cannot say enough of how much I see those embodied each and every day in all of our amazing guildies, our staff, and our leadership. It's really and truly incredible. Plus, you made a monk, so you're on the right path, man. Monk Master Race. Now, Zia, do you have any shout outs before we get out of here tonight?
Sure. I've gone on and on and on about it tonight, but I just definitely want to thank the people who have been working on this event for Congress Before the Storm. I'm so thankful to them. I'm just so lucky to have them to help me with this event and just to have them in my life in general, because a lot of planning these things it can take an emotional toll. It's rewarding when you get there, but there's some very, very late nights and very long phone calls. Sometimes we don't agree with one another on how things should go, but that's okay, because that's how you make things better. And I'm just so thankful to them. I'm thankful to them, and I'm thankful to the community in general for donating to it. For those people who couldn't donate, that's okay. Just the kindness just hearing somebody say, "I'm really excited," it really is a motivating thing. So thank you. just to the positivity in the community as well. So, and thank you for having me on the show tonight.
Aw.
Of course.
Aw.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's been a while since I've gotten to go on to a show and guest, so it was a nice thing.
Aw. Well, I really appreciated having you here tonight.
Yeah. All the warm fuzzies.
I know, right? This is like so much love. So for me, big shout out to Rubber Chicken. Super fun time this week, guys. We got all the way through Tyrant with a motley crew of alts. It was incredible. It was fun. It was a great time. Thank you to Draven and I want to say Howlin that stepped up. I totally blanking on our other tank, but you had a macro that's every time that he pulled, he had a macro that said, "I have no idea what I'm doing." It was great because I'm normally one of our main tanks, so like seeing that, like seeing him just have fun was a great time. To the Kansas City CTR crew, one of whom is in here tonight. Big shout to Lori CTR. All the barbecue recommendations, all the things that you guys have been throwing at me. I'm going to be in Kansas this weekend. I hope that I can get to run into some of y'all. Also, to Belle and Sal, my co-host over on the Converted podcast. We are going to be back on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/Converted podcast. And, of course, to the lovely Miss Zia for coming on the show tonight. And special shout out to your other half as well for loaning you out on I shouldn't say loaning you out. That's horrible. For giving up some of his time that he could be spending with his amazing and very pregnant wife tonight. Thank you, sir.
Really nice of you to say. Holy crap.
Well, really and I mean, he's giving up some time with you for you. I really and truly appreciate that. I know how. I have no idea how much work Calm Before the Storm is, but I know how busy you've been, and to give up some of this time, I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. You know what? Our spouses, I think, endure to let us do what we do, you know?
Yeah. And then, well, at least you have one that games and gets it. At least a little bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that he games, so...
Hey, honey, we're talking about video games. It's great. Yeah.
I was looking over to see if he was actually gaming at this very moment. He's been digging back into Eve here, so I was wondering if that's what he was doing. So
nice.
He's intense. I don't know how he plays that friggin' game.
Is Eve still? I was gonna say that's still like going.
Oh, it's going. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but thank you. That's very, very kind of you to say.
Oh.
And I will relay that to him.
Oh. Well, thank you so much once more. That is going to do it here for episode 29. If you'd like to join our live audience and hang out in the chat room like Ro, or Lena, Frosty Fox, it's Zia, who is also on the show. Amazing. Thanks that you're in the chat room, too.
Yeah.
Kleptic, Lori, Miss Noid, and Tibercod. Also, Stonegrasp. Thank you to everyone that came out. You can join us live just like these amazing folks did on twitch.tv/thegamecase at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each and every Thursday evening. Thank you so much for listening to episode 29 of The Game Case. You can find me on Twitter at Mullet863. Where can we find Zia on the internet? Don't come back.
You can find me. Oh, there we are. Sorry, I was typing in the chat room. It was too much for my computer to handle.
No, you're good. You're good. I totally forgot about that part.
Oh, it's okay.
It's good.
So you can find me on the interwebs at ITSXIA. That's on Twitter. And then, of course, the two shows I talked about, The Sundering, which goes on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, and Netflix comes out. I think it's just follow us on Twitter, and or actually, you know what? I can probably give you a link to on the interwebs.
Ooh,
if you want
do
to put it
that.
in the show notes or
do that. And here, throw it in the chat room as well. I just modded you in there.
Sure, yeah, I'll put Netflix in here because it's a little bit more sporadic. Oh, it's deleted link. Oh, I moved too quick. Ah, there it is.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah. We're currently doing, we just wrapped up Narcos on Netflix, so.
Oof. I love it. I can't, so the show's out, like that show's out there. I can go listen to your thoughts on, okay, cool. I was like a huge Pablo Escobar like history and I was sitting there nitpicking at the stuff that was wrong, and I was like, mm-mm.
Well, I'll tell you what, sir. If you really like that, shameless little plug here, Netflix actually got to do an interview with Zach Kalig, who is he is a writer for Narcos. We got so lucky. Yeah, we got friggin' lucky. He just happened to follow us on Twitter and was like, you know what? Why don't I come on and we could do like an interview? So it's a bonus exclusive with Zach Kalig, and he talks about the show and writing in the show. Yes, so that might be a good introductory episode for you to listen to, actually.
Oh, that is awesome.
So, yeah. So, how in the hell we got somebody like that?
Okay, guys, we're out. I'm not even gonna close this thing. I'm gonna go listen to Netflix now. No, oh my gosh, that's incredible.
He just got lucky. That's all it was. It was just pure luck, and Brillin's Canadian, and he is just super nice to people and show up.
Apologizes a lot even when he hasn't done anything, just...
Yeah, and people, I don't know how he did it. I don't know. I just show up. So,
oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, it was lucky. Anyway.
Well, after you go out and find that amazing and incredible episode of Netfreaks, you can find this show on Twitter at The Game Case Show. You can download us on iTunes and Stitcher. You can catch recordings of the live show or our tips, tricks, and kill videos at youtube.com/thegamecase, or you can find all of the things on the official site of The Game Case Show, thegamecase.com. And with that, Zia, say bye.
Bye, Zia.
Game Case out.
Thank you for joining us this week inside The Game Case. Please join us next week for more news, tips, and ramblings about the World of Warcraft. Game Case out.
World of the Warcraft.